I'm fine. How often do we say that? Probably quite a lot, maybe even today.
Oh, absolutely. It's almost a default setting.
Exactly. So this time we're going to take a bit of a deep dive, look under the hood of that phrase, what's really happening when we say it.
Especially when things feel, overwhelming or just tough.
Right. How we navigate our inner world with those two little words.
It really is a reflex, isn't it? Someone asks how you are, and I'm fine. Just appears.
Like magic. Almost like we don't even check in first.
No, it's that social script we learn, isn't it? Keeps things moving.
Yeah, keeps the wheels greased, avoids getting too complicated. So let's think of I'm fine as this kind of common mask.
Okay.
And our goal today is to, gently peel it back a bit, honestly.
And it's something everyone experiences, right?
Right.
Have you ever caught yourself doing it? Saying, I'm fine when, well, you felt anything but.
Oh, totally. Guilty as charged.
Right.
Many, many times.
You're definitely not alone there.
And it makes you think, doesn't it? We're often sort of taught subtly that being strong means not showing vulnerability.
Mm-hmm. Like, complaining is weakness.
Yeah. So I'm fine becomes the quick way to project that strength.
That pressure to seem resilient, it's definitely a
Mhm.
thing. But, constantly falling back on I'm fine, ironically, it can actually cause more problems down the line.
Which is why we need to unpack it.
Exactly. Understanding this whole dynamic is pretty important.
Okay, so let's really dig into this idea, the I'm fine shield. It becomes automatic, doesn't it?
Completely. Like we're on autopilot.
Functioning, getting through the motions.
Yeah, there's a huge difference between just functioning and actually feeling okay, truly well.
Huge difference. You can tick all the boxes, do all the things.
But inside, it's a whole different story.
And it's not just a feeling, right? There's research, I think, Harvard research pointed out that constantly suppressing emotions,
Yeah, pushing them down.
it can actually ramp up stress and anxiety. It puts
Yeah.
a strain on us.
It really does. It
Yeah.
taxes the nervous system. So that habitual, I'm fine, it might actually be, heavier than it looks.
So why do we do it then? What are the reasons we reach for that shield when it's not quite true?
Well, one big reason, I think, is just avoiding deeper conversations.
Ah, yes. The conversation stopper.
Right. You say, I'm fine, and usually that's it. End of inquiry.
It's a polite way to signal don't pry.
Yeah, maybe you don't have the energy or the time, or maybe you just don't feel comfortable really opening up right then.
Or that fear of being a burden, like you don't want to dump your problems on someone else.
That's a big one, too. Protecting others, maybe. Or at least that's how it feels.
Yeah.
And sometimes, let's be honest, it's just sheer emotional exhaustion.
Oh, definitely.
As thinking about explaining how you really feel sounds tiring. I'm fine is easier.
I remember a friend telling me something that really stuck. She said when she says I'm fine, it often means,
What?
please don't ask any more questions. I'm barely holding it together right now.
Wow. Yeah, that lands. That really shows the weight those words can carry.
So much hidden meaning.
And I bet a lot of us know that feeling, right? Being right on the edge, using all your energy just to seem okay.
I've definitely been there. Periods where I just automatically say I'm fine, even to myself, but inside,
Yeah.
just felt kind of numb, disconnected.
Yeah.
It felt easier than actually facing whatever was going on.
And that's another layer, isn't it? Sometimes we sort of convince ourselves we're fine because admitting we're not feels scary.
Big, overwhelming.
Exactly. Too daunting to really look at.
Okay, so if it's so automatic, how do we even start noticing when I'm fine isn't the real story? What are the signs, the clues?
Well, there are definitely things to look out for. Indicators that I'm fine might be a bit of a front.
Like what?
One big one is feeling constantly exhausted, like bone tired, even if you're technically getting enough sleep.
Right, because holding everything in takes energy, a lot of energy.
It really does. Another sign could be feeling kind of empty or numb, like the colors are turned down emotionally.
Flatlined.
Yeah. Or notice if you're overreacting to small things, little stuff setting you off.
Ah, the short fuse. Because the tank is already low.
Precisely. Your emotional capacity is just depleted. You don't have the buffer you normally would.
Okay, that makes sense. Anything else?
Well, kind of a paradox here. Pulling away from people, avoiding social stuff, but at the same time, feeling really lonely.
Huh. Wanting connection, but not having the energy for it.
Exactly, that internal conflict.
So basically, if we notice we're constantly just pushing through, just surviving day to day,
Yeah, just scraping by.
that's a pretty strong hint that we're not actually fine. We're maybe in survival mode.
Right. And there's a world of difference between surviving and actually thriving.
Can you say more about that difference? Thriving versus surviving?
Sure. Surviving is about enduring, getting through. Thriving has this sense of vitality, of engagement, growth, feeling generally well. It's more active, more positive.
Not just treading water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not just treading water.
Okay, so we've talked about the shield, how to spot when it's maybe not true. What can we actually do about it? What are some practical steps to move beyond that automatic, I'm fine?
Right, the actionable stuff. Step one sounds simple, but it's really powerful. Name it.
Name it.
Yeah. Actually acknowledge your true feelings. Say them, even just to yourself. Try saying, okay, I'm feeling tired right now, or I feel really overwhelmed, or maybe I just feel stuck.
Just putting a label on it. There's something about that, isn't there? It makes it feel less
Right.
fuzzy.
Absolutely. Gives it shape. And interestingly, there's research from UCLA.
Oh, yeah.
It shows that the act of labeling your emotions can actually calm down the amygdala.
The brain's alarm center.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The part linked to fear and stress. So naming the feeling literally helps regulate it.
Wow, that's fascinating. So just saying I feel anxious or I'm frustrated can actually start to dial down the internal stress.
It seems so. And the important thing here is you don't have to shout it from the rooftops immediately. Start small. Be honest with yourself first, in private, even if it feels a bit weird at first.
So maybe jotting it in a notebook or
Yeah.
whispering it when you're alone or even just typing it in your phone notes.
Exactly. Any way to make it concrete for yourself. Start that honest internal conversation.
And doing that, being honest with yourself, that's like an act of self-care, self-love.
It really is. A
Yeah.
profound act of self-compassion, acknowledging your own inner experience.
Okay, step one, name it. Got it. What comes next?
Step two, find your safe people.
Safe people. Okay, define that.
These are the people in your life who you feel you can be your totally unfiltered self with. No judgment, no criticism, just acceptance.
And who might those people be?
Could be anyone, really. A really good friend who just listens, maybe people in a support group who get it. A therapist is a classic example.
Right.
Or, honestly, even just journaling can be a safe space, especially if finding external support feels tough right now. You can be your own safe space.
The key thing is they don't try to fix you, right? Or tell you not to feel that way.
Exactly. They just offer presence. Maybe they just say, I'm here. And sometimes that's everything.
It really is.
It's just so important to remember you don't have to carry all the hard stuff alone.
And what if someone listening feels like, I don't really have anyone like that right now?
That's a really crucial point.
Mm.
If that's the case, you can start by consciously being that safe space for yourself.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to not be okay without beating yourself up about it. Acknowledge your feelings with kindness internally. Talk to yourself like you would a dear friend.
So building that internal compassion first.
Yes,
Awesome.
start there. And that leads nicely into step three, change your language.
Okay. How does language fit in?
Well, the words we use, they really do shape our reality, don't they? How we see things, how we feel.
So instead of the automatic, I'm fine,
Hmm?
what could we try? What are some alternatives? Still honest, but maybe gentle.
Great question. You could try things like, I'm getting through it, or it's been a tough week, but I'm hanging in there.
Okay, those feel real.
Or even, not my best day, honestly, but I'm still showing up.
Yeah, they acknowledge the difficulty without necessarily opening the floodgates unless you want to.
Precisely. They feel more truthful, right?
Yeah.
And they invite a more genuine connection, potentially. They let others see you more clearly, but maybe more importantly, they help you see yourself more clearly.
It's like adjusting the lens.
Exactly. Language isn't just for talking to others. It's a tool for transforming how we relate to ourselves, too.
That's powerful. Okay, name it, find safe people, change language. What's the final step?
Step four, and this one underpins everything, really. Show yourself compassion.
Ah, self-compassion. Sounds simple, but maybe not so easy in practice.
It can be tough,
Yeah.
especially if we're used to being hard on ourselves. But basically, it means treating yourself with the same kindness, the same understanding you'd offer a loved one who is struggling.
That's a good way to frame it, because we usually wouldn't berate a friend for having a hard time.
Never. Right. Ask yourself, would you shame a friend for admitting they're struggling? No way. You'd offer comfort, support, maybe remind them they're doing their best.
And we need to turn that same lens inward, tell ourselves it's okay, that we don't have to earn rest.
Yes, and that a tough moment or day or week doesn't define our worth.
That's not weakness.
Absolutely not. Self-compassion is actually a form of resilience. And there's good evidence for this. Dr. Kristen Neff's
The
research.
self-compassion expert.
That's her. Her studies consistently show that self-compassion is actually a better motivator than self-criticism.
Really? That feels counterintuitive to some people, like you need to be tough on yourself to achieve things.
It does, but think about it. When you're kind to yourself, you create a safer internal space. You're more likely to acknowledge mistakes, learn from them, and actually grow. Criticism often just leads to shame and hiding.
So practically, how does that look if that inner critic starts up?
Yeah, when your mind says you're not doing enough, or you should be handling this better, try to gently counter it with something like, I'm doing what I can right now, or this is hard and it's okay that it's hard. Acknowledge the struggle with kindness, and trust that for today, what you're doing is enough.
Okay, that feels gentler, more sustainable.
It is.
So wrapping this up then, if you've been carrying that I'm fine burden for a long time, feeling like you have to perform strength,
Yeah,
maybe this deep dive is your permission slip. Permission to gently set it down.
absolutely. You don't need to perform strength to be worthy. Your truth, whatever it is in this moment, is enough.
It's okay to not be okay. That's really the core message, isn't it?
It is. And acknowledging how you really feel, that's actually a sign of strength, not weakness. True courage.
So if this conversation resonated with you, maybe think about sharing it, perhaps with someone you know who often uses that I'm fine line.
Yeah, someone who might need to hear, it's okay to let the mask down sometimes.
Because truly we see you, and we're with you on this.
Take gentle care.
Until next time.
And maybe, just maybe, consider this. Think about one time this past week when you automatically said, I'm fine. Just one instance. What was really going on underneath, and what might it feel like just for a moment to acknowledge that feeling, even just quietly to yourself?